guys was doing some conference over the week, and he used a phrase I found very interesting. He used the phrase head coach. He didn't use the phrase manager.
Yeah.
And I just picked up on that. So, just what are your thoughts on that? Number one, on the use of the phrase head coach instead of manager, and number two, the ongoing saga with nobody appointed yet, and the year moving on. So, just your thoughts on that, then.
Well, the head coach normally was something that came in. There was other things in European football and club football where the head coach wasn't necessarily always had the final say of the players coming in. You were seen as the head coach. You were the man coaching the players, and you weren't necessarily always going to get the responsibility of bringing in the players. You were effectively day-to-day coaching the players, and then the thing was that
But at
director of
international level,
football.
in European and international level, what does it mean?
Well, I think from what I gathered from Mark Kellerman, I think his name was, he said something very interesting, and Kevin Doyle on the television picked up on it. He wants the Irish teams to all play the same sort of system, same sort of style at underage and 3-1s at junior level. And Doyle said it on RT last night that the coach or whoever, manager, whoever you prefer, should be the one that dictates how the team plays, or the playing style, the players he picks. The man in the dugout should have the final say on how the team plays, not be influenced by someone in the stand, the FAI directors or whatever, in terms of pressure on the manager, head coach, and the team. So that's a bit concerning, Paul, to be quite honest. Your head coach initially, I think, is purely coaching the players. Now, I would definitely have to be strongly advising the FAI, don't get involved in team squad selection or style. I mean, am I going from what I know from club level, and normally it's not something you really hear much at international level, to be quite honest. You always seem to call it manager when it comes to international level, because the pool of players is small.
Time is running out. But is this now going to be the criteria? Is this the reason why they're taking so long to appoint what I would call a manager? But maybe they're not appointing a manager. They're looking for a head coach, and this will be one of the terms and conditions. This will be part of the negotiation. If this is what they aim, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. He was asked on in interviews yesterday, because they had a big document yesterday about the future of Irish football for the next 12 years, and it was all very corporate speech. And I think, as Richard Sadler said, where's the money coming out of? There's very little on all ambition, but very little on detail how they're going to do it exactly through finance and sponsorship and stuff like that. And the FAI have said that the potential candidates for the job haven't turned down or accept or said anything with this remit where they want all the teams to play in a certain style. They said no. There's been no one that said no to that. I find that very hard to believe, Paul, to be honest with you. I mean, in the last week, we've had Neil Lennon look like he's odds on to get the job. Then we've been told through media now, and it's all second-hand information, to be fair, but we've been told he's not in the running for the job. Chris Coleman, who you said yourself, was the first person that said he won't be interested in the job to me. He was nearly nailed on to get the job on Monday. Then by Monday night at 10 o'clock, I saw something that he's no longer in the running. We've had Lee Carsley. He first of all, he said he's getting the job. A couple of days later, like we've been saying in previous podcasts, that he's no longer in the job, or he's a turned down, and they fair come back on the proof offer.
No, these are just the media speculating. They're only throwing stuff out there to get clickbait, as I call it, clickbait.
Yeah, I definitely. But it seems to be very, very much like that, Paul, because we've had 3 times now where a man's been nailed on for the job, and then all of a sudden he's out and running. So the process is 90 days. I think it was yesterday was 89 days. It's 90 days now since Stephen Kinney was let go by the FAI. And the process has been, I would say, ridiculous at this stage. I don't know if you heard, but Damien Duff, I think, said in an interview where he was approached by, not someone directly, but friend of a friend, shall we say, and about the FAI, about the job. And Duff sort of felt, like you said yourself, it was more of a tick in the box type of a thing. He never felt he was really considered to be an option for them. He said, first of all, he wouldn't take the job because he's only less than 2 years in management, 1 year in Shelbourne in the League of Ireland, and 2 years done, and I think he's going into his third year. So he sort of felt it was too early for him to get the job, and to be honest, he didn't want the job at the moment anyway. So that's the way it's going at the moment, Paul. It's just ticking boxes, clickbait. 90 days, we still don't have a bloody manager. And by the looks of it, Paul, like they said, they're going to have to probably give a gig to Jim Crawford. I think Noel King in the past, when Trapattoni was sacked, he took over for 2 remaining games in the qualifiers for 2004 World Cup. They were out of the running by then. And something's going to happen like that, because they're probably going to have to give an interim manager the job for the friendlies against Switzerland and Belgium. And if that does happen, Paul, people will be wondering, what's the story going on here, lads? They're up in front of a Oireachtas committee, I think, on Thursday, discussing all the business side of the FAI. Still don't have a sponsor. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but Revolut, I think, has been, I think, in negotiations with FAI. We don't know exactly. By the time we're recording, that may be all sorted out, might be signed. We don't know, but it's been in the process. They haven't had a sponsor for the men's team since the middle of 2020. That's nearly 4 years. The contract with Tree wasn't renewed. They decided not to, and then we haven't had a main short sponsor for the men's team since then.
Even though just sign up for cutting across, but the clock is ticking there. Just go back to this new head coach thing. Does that mean the Carsley will be in it, or are they going to go completely? Are they going to wait? I think now they probably might wait after the Euros and appoint his head coach and somebody out of a job after the Euros who will probably, if the money's right, will agree to that.
Well, your guess is probably going to be quite honest with you, because it's a lot of men have been linked with the job, but this might be off-putting. And if the process for the new manager goes as badly as it has for the main sponsor in the shorts, I'd be very, very fearful. They seem to be very ambitious in what they want, but nobody seems to go with them, to be quite honest with you, Paul. I would be very concerned if it gets to the March friendlies that they would have people in mind, but they just won't agree to them terms and conditions, like we said. The head coach, like whatever the FAI are selling to these candidates, they probably aren't buying it. Or if the FAI sort of go to a candidate, he's interested in the job, and then the FAI say, no, we won't. I think it'd be very, 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 very amateurish from the FAI if they went to a candidate and they said, no, we'll decide not to take you on the job. But then the person they want then has a second train of thought and decides to say no to them. It'd be very bad if they have to go back to that person and say, all right, we said no to you earlier on the last couple of weeks, but now we're back interested again. I think they'll be told to take a hike. So it's, if you asked me for a name, Paul, I honestly couldn't give you one who I think this new head coach is going to be. I think it's been dragging on so long now. The process seems to be very, very poor. They're thinking maybe possibly sometime next week or the end of next week, they might have a new manager in place or new head coach. I suppose we're going to have to say that now, new head coach in place, but it's dragging on now, Paul. And look, they might surprise me. They might get a new man in the position by the end of next week, but I highly doubt it at the moment.
Yeah.
From what we know from the FAI in the past and stuff like that, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I suppose the only note I'd say, when I have this term, the head coach, straight away that was a red flag to me. Because if I was a manager of a team and I was going to be brought in to be the manager, I would not want to be instructed by some fella in a suit saying you have to play in a certain style and all this. Now you might say to go along with it, but when the actual thing starts, because when the competitive game starts, if the results go against the team, he's the manager, the fella sitting on he's the one who'll get in the nick. As I think Nick McCaffrey said, he'll be on the bacon slicer. The media will go after him. They won't be going after the top guys. So if I'm going to be on the bacon slicer and I'm going to get the heat, if the results are bad on the pitch, then I want to be in full control of what I do and not to be just putting out a line-up to suit a man above in the suit. Just finish up your final thought.
Yeah, Paul, it's, the more things change, the more they stay the same about the FAI. There's supposed to be this new FAI, and we've had a few scandals already. So they haven't been able to, like, for example, the women's football manager, the search for that. We were told they were going to cast the net far and wide. They ended up hiring the interim manager in the end anyway. And Eileen Gleeson was told she wasn't interested, and she was. Maybe we don't know. Maybe there was someone in place and they turned them down. We just don't know. But we were told that the net was going to be far and wide and ended up being Ireland listening in the end anyway. So I don't know, Paul, where this is going to go. Your guess is as good as mine. I think if people say they definitely have a person's a name that he's nailed on for the job, I think they're lying. I think they've hired themselves want the person that they've been told. We've been told numerous times that Lee Carsey has been the man they want. By the looks of it, that's dead in the water now. I don't think he's going to take the job. I don't think, by the looks of it, they've told Neil Lennon that he's not going to be the manager either. So who else is out there, Paul? It could be someone left the field, like I said in the previous podcast, that we haven't been taught of, and they might just end up walking into the job. We just don't know. But I would hope sooner rather than later that this position will be filled, because we got a big year ahead of us. We got those big games against England, against Greece again, at Greece who beat us home and away in the qualifiers last year. So we really do need to get our skates on now and fill that position, because we need to get bums on seats, Paul. The FAI are in debt. They need to start filling the stadium again. Obviously now